Hola, hola, estamos en vivo. Estaré un rato aquí jugando directo de la Play. Voy a echar una o dos partidas. De hecho, 10. Alexa, alarma a las 10.
Alarma puesta a las 10 de la mañana.
GOTY se unió al chat. LMM Motroni Promotion Leas Auto Customize de Botere, https neros.6s.rs.com. @streamlms por favor, no envíes enlaces.
¿Qué? ¿Me encerraron? ¿Qué mamada fue esa? Oh, no, todo lo que dejé afuera.
Lo que es el crédito de un tricampeonato, aunque ha ocurrido hace ya 3 torneos, el último de ellos, tenemos las mismas chances que un quinto, que un cuarto. Si no, estaremos hablando de un torneo crítico para las Águilas del América. León le cabe con el reporte y para complementar la información de lo que ha ocurrido hoy en el campamento de las Águilas. León, ¿cómo estás? Te mando un abrazo.
Abrazo a todos en Fútbol Picante. Sí, yo creo que América, después de las diamantes, las filas, la Chip, los jugadores reconocen todos de la institución que no hicieron una buena temporada, cerca incluso de respuesta de clave, que era que debíamos haber hecho un torneo, aunque también mencionamos que eran 2 partidos mereció más. Lo cierto también, te digo, Mike, es que
Gracias por
América sabe que es
seguirme.
otro torneo.
@Saros Sainz, canal galeano.
Gracias, Saúl.
De cuidado. Sí, se combinaron Santos y con Devfail. Se combinaron el torneo. La media cancha sobre. Sí, las molestias musculares, pero ya está recuperado de todo eso. Lo mismo será mañana con la práctica manera y en el caso de también, se digo, una de las prácticas esta semana con su mercado, pero también el brasileño está listo, así que las prácticas son las de largo plazo que hemos hablado de la maratón. La de Israel Reyes está definiendo sus posiciones la siguiente temporada y en el caso de nosotros también de la futbolista que ayer se fue mucho pero la izquierda queda fuera resta la línea del tiempo Cristiano Ronaldo Espinosa este chico el tema del lateral derecho que ya va a hacer la siguiente a ver y dice que para este partido sobre la vuelta y esta transmisión podría estar
su liga, pero yo funciona la ofensiva de Argentina y Fernando. Para es que no los dos, todas las que ha tenido el ataque, que si queríamos es la razón principal
sí, Mike, pasa mucho con el tema de la adaptación. Ya pasaron muchos años y no han encontrado no me digan constante donde ya tienes pero en el caso de Vega
siempre no me dejo de extrañar decir que es brasileños que me gusta como a todos vienen de amigos que pueden ser pequeños una adaptación en la que se es la capacidad de a veces entiendo lo que dices, la complementación.
It was ours. Something was here first. Something laid claim to our dreams. And then it waited. And waited. And waited. Saludos, no frijoles.
Hola, Félix. Ezequiel. Ay, cabrón, que me disparó. Uf.
entender que dirige Brian Juárez, una decisión y también la de Guillermo Martínez, que en este periodo de descanso de integrarse a este conjunto de la selección mexicana que jugó 6 temporadas. La única duda está en la banda por la derecha, si va a darle continuidad en esa lateral a Rodrigo López o va a jugar de nueva cuenta con una línea de 5 y ojo general, que si va a tener confianza a un delantero, en este caso con dos puertas incorporando también a...
¿Qué tanto le sorprendió al equipo de Pumas la convocatoria de Memonte Adri? Si bien había sido un jugador de relevo, se ha metido goles importantes, es una pieza importante para considerar los son los 3 atacantes de Juárez. ¿Qué tanto les sorprendió a Pumas este llamado?
Parte que no tanto, porque ellos desde hace algunas semanas pusieron como objetivo principal de que impulsaran la carrera de Guillermo Martínez en selecciones mexicanas. Saben que por las cualidades en el juego aéreo que tiene, por la actitud también de este delantero mexicano, es que había sido llamado por parte de Javier Aguirre. Ayer de las instituciones están muy contentos por esa convocatoria, porque desde el Mundial de Rusia 2018 no se tenía un jugador de Pumas en un Mundial con la selección mexicana. El último que lo había conseguido fue también Brasil 2014 no se tuvo llamados jugadores para el 2022, entonces ellos van a apoyar por completo a su jugador que ofrece una preocupación porque se queda sin cambios sobre ahí para este cuerpo y ya una lesión y ahora también con el de Guillermo, los cambios que eran fundamentales en el esquema de este técnico.
Muchísimas gracias, saludos. La vaca de Memonte que han tenido que adaptarse para encontrar su género, porque tanto que no están en el nivel de dar miedo a la cancha de caer por todo, de llevarse una ventaja, porque
But that name does not capture its glory. It made this world possible. It made them wonderful. Were they so magnificent it was created for them? Did the shore look down on them with splendor and shine its bounty on Corvosa? Lucini. I wonder what the ancients called it.
No. Mierda. Madre, es que buen juego.
I can do it this time.
Ok, a mejorar estadísticas. Trabajo, ¿qué onda? ¿La adrenalina para qué chingado sirve? Es que estas se ven potentes, pero le quitan mucho. Y otra vez.
El juego del que mucha gente habla es el que involucra a los Tigres contra el Guadalajara, 7 contra 2 de la tabla. Guadalajara, líder del campeonato durante un buen rato, pero que ahora tendrá que enfrentar el partido sin Rangel, Alvarado, Miguel González, Chivas, ayer para el de Milito, y por parte de los Tigres, por encontrar aquí tampoco con José Herrera, jugadores que cambian lesiones después de la actividad moderna. También compañeros al día de hoy y está una pregunta: ¿es más pesado el cambio de Chivas con las bajas de Tigres, la actividad de ciertos rivales? Dionisio Estrada, Paco Gabriels, Mario, buenas noches. Antes de ir, un entrevistado por Nancy García, es más pesado. El chico es una pieza.
Buenas noches. Es también un sueño, ¿no? Esto es un sueño para mí. Va a ser para Chivas. Cuando la elección técnica de Milito para saber qué tanto puede moverle al esquema con los jugadores que tiene. Y más allá de eso, clarísimamente, tiene muchos altos y bajos. Entonces, ¿qué tanto puede ser que es complicado para que lo puedes sobrellevar?
Para Chivas, más pesado para de Chivas.
Puta madre, hasta ganas de reiniciar la.
no se los casan tampoco. Y por eso usamos explora su casa. Seguimos en México. ¿Saben que tienes que sacar una conclusión? Y ahí va a si ahora estás viviendo entonces hay ustedes quieren eso nos va a hacer la prensa y va a ser las películas de casa. Me parece que escuchamos a Devfail, reaccionamos a lo que le dijo neta esta gasta y chicos, vamos.
Las dos contenciones que Ramón González, el oso joven, deportistas emparentados, Santo Banco, Ledesma, esta es la esta, se cubre hasta el 100%, puede ser un responsivo, y también tiene unos poquitos de funciones internas, hablando de específico. ¿Qué sucede? Hay un de los futbolistas, pueden utilizar es un ¿no? Básicamente se sabe que esta formación es un de chivas no técnico, es simplemente un recorrido, no se perfectamente cambiado, se puede de goles. Y el Devfail puede hacer estas funciones en marca.
Sí, parece más a lo que es completamente autorizado. Una de estas centrales
para que se quieren quedar y lo mismo esta zona, no para básicamente sería aparece en esta zona lo del ruido los cuales si no si vas a si no tienes el recorrido algunos de los centrales se encuentran en observaciones es importante sino que simplemente a partir de encontrar el sistema que siempre mayor en esta zona ahora sí que tanto los espacios de estos jugadores importantes que están pueden integralizar el fragmento para integralizar
más aplicado cuando los nombres y los que estás dando esas cartas no se parecen a las sí, los conceptos chicos es que no es esencial y después la vocalidad y la frecuencia y ellas se van a gracias a Dios verticalidad sales ahí está el show ya están los delanteros y ya hay
Puta, qué pendejo.
Hoy Andrea Jardine haya dicho que no hay favoritos. La realidad es que Pumas, primero de la tabla, América. Pumas, 36 puntos, América. Pumas, una sola derrota, América.
Right? Rather than we're taking these people you like and we're treating them entirely like they're just different people, and that's what they deal with hate with. Like it's like Master Chief. This isn't Master Chief. This is just something you call them the phone Master Chief. Whereas like in this like Saros live action, these characters are still them. It's just their circumstances are way different, so they're having to react differently, and like the way it looks with are a little bit different. And so I think that is a really compelling way to reinvent something for a different platform. So and this with Resident Evil, bring it back. I think them saying, okay, we want to not be constrained to what has already been said and be able to play in this universe in a fun way, and letting this, like, obviously quite successful storytelling, like, shine the way they show it. That's just made for a better movie, and who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, no, I agree. So he's on tour. He writes his own stuff. Yeah, you don't really want him to like be pigeonholed into just telling the story of Resident Evil 2 again. And something else. It's not like I can also see from the perspective of a Resident Evil fan. It's like, oh my gosh, there's a new Resident Evil movie out. There's a trailer for it. They're tuning in, hoping to see stuff that they get, from Resident Evil. So I can understand that too. The Mario movies, they're literally nothing but, hey, Mario, this and this and this and this character and this guy and this lady. Speaking of, so they must have loved like the Resident Evil movies because they made like 6 of those Village of. So
Yeah, this is the one that wants something else to see that part. Yeah.
We've talked a lot about this before I got this movie recently, but Miranda, what do you think?
And
I grew to like it more since I've seen it. Now
to see it more times.
it's not choice. I voluntarily took the kids twice. And I like it. It's fun. I know, but I like it.
I think it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Miranda did the strategy guide for Mario Odyssey, and never wants to play Super Mario Odyssey again. And famously, it does not like 2D Mario, which is really great because someday that's gonna be the Desert Island situation. She's gonna be stuck, and she only has an emulated copy of Super Mario, and she's gonna have to play through. She's gonna go through this. That's gonna be the transformation of Samus, right?
Yeah, I did not like those games in particular, so I think this is like, this is great. Like, I want more space.
So when you read that, at the end of your, he goes to play a lot of Smash Bros. Through Smash Bros. He's learned so many different games and branches, characters. He's really interested in all this stuff, like Mega Man and Pac-Man and Mario games and Birdo. This is like really interested in all this stuff. And he wants to like play these other games and check them out. And every single time he spends 2 or 3 minutes with it, he's like, no, I don't like this. And every single time. He's really into like Mega Man, and I actually have some advice for Capcom. We talk a lot about how successful Capcom has been, modern Capcom, and they really have missed. They're one of the only developers that knows how to consistently deliver great AAA video games. But Kiko got really into Mega Man, just like learning about all the Robot Masters.
Otra vez no me fui por el camino secundario, me lleva la chingada.
This is the video games which it's like kids just love this violent way of this information. Like if I told you, if you said I told you how to do game layout, it's about catching all these monsters. Would you like, there's thousands of them, would you like me to tell you about every single Pokemon? You'd be like, no, but Kiko would say, yes, let's see that. And tell me about every single one. So I think Capcom should make a Mega Man game like for kids. Just imagine Mega Man, but Astro platform. Just kind of an easy, breezy platformer, 3D platformer with Mega Man. I think kids would go crazy for it. Anyway, I have a couple things about Resident Evil. Anyway, we just learned this. If anyone's wondering who this lead character is, it's the junkie guy from and I was like, well, that's good, because he's like, like Samsung, looks very different here. Number 2. This is out, I think it says September 18th, later this year. Like, that's only a year for weapons. I don't know how they say just get delivered for a year. That seems crazy. I guess if it's like practical effects and size, and you get everything. Yeah, then it's that kind of expectation of like spending $200 million running through a lab at the end. Everyone's expensive. But interesting. Sam, if it's possible to release a movie a year, we should remove like 30 Tarantino films. You just raise the stakes there. That probably 50 or more Star Wars films. That's true. That's true. And finally, this takes place the day of Resident Evil 2, which is in September. that makes me scratch my chin. Just, yeah, the September. Yeah, well, yeah. Nice. But this is 1998. This is September 1998. Maybe they did research and they discovered that in September 1998, actually announced that they calculation. Yep, they did the research. Yeah, it'd be really, I mean, personally, we've been set in perspective. This is like outside. It's too big for everything. Like what happens during the city, which is like a visible thing. I'm gonna guess that would be portrayed. I don't know actually, but I do think that whenever we get the next trial, it will be a little bit, maybe a little bit more Resident Evil-y, like maybe a little bit more of a nod to certain things that people would recognize, because this feels almost more just like a really cool trailer for a horror movie rather than for a video game adaptation. And I think that was probably the intent. It's like, look at this movie that's coming out from the sky that you like already. Okay, I'm gonna spoil Resident Evil Fan. So just skip ahead 30 seconds. Alright? Not in an extreme way, but in the end of that game, Leon says just some like offhanded line like, where the hell is Chris? That's all you get from Chris in the game. What does he say? No, so when they're rescued, whatever that, like, I don't know if they're military, whatever they are, they say yes, like Commander Redfield. Yeah, yes, Commander Redfield. And then later when Leon is talking to the cleanup crew or something, he says like, you know, he's out there, busy out there somewhere. It's something like that. He's mentioned like twice. Anyway, Leon mentions Chris though, right? Yeah, yes. Yeah, so I mean that can be what happens. So you can think, yeah, if everything's resolved, when everything happens, and then a guy comes home, gives him, you know, oh, Mr. whatever your name is, let's talk to you about the events that happened here. Here's my card. It says, oh, corporation. And then he gets a call, and he's like, that was my sister. She's a cop. Her name is Jen. Yes. I kind of do hope they do something like kind of cheated like that. I think it's really funny. I mean, it's better than a master of unlocking. You don't need those. Really, there's like a greater in the trailer somewhere. I missed it, but Dover said it was. And I was surprised. Nowhere, like even at the beginning of the trailer or the end, Capcom didn't get their like logo in there or anything. No Capcom mention. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. Do you know is it Sony? Actually, but the CDs 15 times in a row. The logos and everything are pure Resident Evil stuff.
Puta madre, ¿cómo?
That's true. Okay, looking through drawers, that's a big part. That's true. Yeah, that is the most Resident Evil. There's a key. There's the key. You're going for the key. When they opened in that house, it's like, man, there's so many drawers looking right there. Like, look at all that stuff. It's great. You just gotta walk around until the X button appears, right? And then also when you go downstairs, that means there's an evil and down. It's pure Resident Evil. I'll probably end in a laugh. I'm excited. Just to see the next movie from Zach Bracken. That it's not very well, a few months away in September. So, Resident Evil. Plenty excited. Let's move on. I'm still playing Pragmatic. Sam, have you played anymore? I know you were playing, but you got distracted by
Before I said, but I started playing another game, but I'm still playing.
Did you make it to where you're like going outside on the moon?
I am at the end of the greener area.
Okay.
So yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, after that you go to outdoor areas, and it is very cool because it's just a cool scene because you got Earth up in the sky.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
And your movement changes. You're slower outside in the lower gravity, and you can jump higher, and your move's just more erratic. So you have to sort of switch up the way you're doing your jumping.
It's like those parts in Dead Space where you went into the zero grav, and then you have to actually use your rockets to like bounce across the place, and it works. Yeah, God, remember EA?
I mean, occasionally they still do. They did Small Fiction last year.
That was EA.
Publishing. Anyway, everyone that has talked about this on the show has really liked Pragmata. Mariah, how'd you find it?
I also really like it, and I'm excited to get back to it. Because right now there's just so many games out, and I'm just playing old games. It's toxic, so I'm just gonna like comfort stuff. But I really want to get back to work on it. Like that's one of the ones I think is at like the top of the list to get back to and finish because it does seem very easy to get through the like series, but I think that's important. Also, just love the combat. It makes so fun. I love those games. I love like build my brain to do two things at once. And that's just so fun. I love fun. There's very fun.
Ay, no.
Now, as an invitation for you to kind of go explore more, just go objective, get friends, yeah. It's nice. It's a bit of looking and I guess basically coming off of the like
Wow, perdí mucha vida. Ay, todavía hay gente. Bueno, no gente, ¿verdad? Robots.
Now, but it is interesting that the end of each level there's a bonus that's like the end of the forest area is wood man gives you a shield. Surprised. Sam is goofing. Everybody goofing. Those are Mega Man jokes. I have not. That is great, and it's just regularly doling out new weapons and new abilities, and there's so many hidden things to find, collectibles at every level. It's great. But
one thing,
go ahead.
That's one thing I don't like so far. Like I'm still pretty early on, just a few hours in. Is how cute is the little listen to Diana, which is trying to say what a prime god is. It's like insane. It's like I'm like, phew, stop.
I just bring up this point because by that point in my game, it said like she had said it 7 times.
Yeah, in my game, she always said she was introduced. She's like, guys, again, like he's editing, like he's in the stairs and rules, and he's running through stuff. The second time she does it, it's kind of chill, and he's like, dang it, let him talk. What is it that I want to know? I'm sure I'm like, I like the couple, they're like really cute. I was kind of worried because like, if they have a little picture, it's really young, like she is, or seemingly really young. She's so cute. She's so cute.
He's a nice guy, so it has a kind of a wholesome feel. Like there's no arguing. It's good. But I thought it was funny. Like the whole thing is that he's trying to get because this disaster has occurred here. He's trying to contact her. He's trying to get food. He tells Diana he's going to take her with them. But Sam, I saw we put up a video of like what's new in the end game. So we're empty. So I was like, well, okay. I guess they're not leaving. Okay, good to know. Maybe there's an explanation. Maybe we're saying what is it called? I don't know. Return or whatever. So like maybe.
Yeah, it's good to see. Like that could be like.
That's awesome. But to both of you, I don't even know what titanium core is. You won't know if it's playing. Yes, that's a good way to describe it. So it has like a very like timid style of like absurdity humor, and it's not like not like that type of it, but just like where did this come from? It's a little bit of funny, and it has this like really like stylistic presentation of like so just be aware like that's happening, and there's like infinite dialogue from characters and things that like yeah. And then like I don't know if this happened to you, Miranda, but at one point you can choose like to one thing or you beat the it's like you can either beat this level right now or you can watch this or you do a boss fight or watch this. And if you watch it, I believe it's the musician that like doing like a 10-minute song which like weird basically what it is, and people describe this to me in a way that I will not describe it to you. So you do play a puzzle game and almost like a match-3 style. What you're doing is, while you're doing that, is you're all organized for stuff. You're actually setting up a strict strategy of play field, of which the castles in your house are placed in a way where then you have rampart round that turns on life and you just do that over and over again. But as a roguelite, because you are jump that you play in it, it's either 2% or just like majority. Switching out weapons or or whatever. But other times you might be your only skill is you sinners. Today you can do the whole level, so there's no water near you, there's a bunch of flammable things around you, for example. So that's all to say. It's like basically a Roblox strategy game with a map straight component and then like an exploration element. Like that's totally what
It's absurd, like such a fun way. There is a similarity to this as well. So it's almost like Astronauts. If you've seen that video, which I haven't very much. Basically, yeah. So it's like this is a play. And we don't really need it to watch the castle. And she doesn't know any of the lines, but she's here. And so she's a villain. And so then they get into this thing where it's this person who the playing as gets lost in the woods and finds himself at the contained court. And then they can't leave. And the court is now saying that you're going to leave and you have to help the fans with the war. And the magistrate comes in, it's like every day you have like a tie. And so it changes what the field looks like, so you constantly shifting that around.
And the fairies are business people.
Yeah, they're all very strange business people.
Corporate roles.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah, they're not cute. And it's such a fun version. There's a talking cat, like there's like this weird mystery. So like if you reach the end of like what is technically the battlefield, you get a night scenario where like the book is completely different. You have to explore. So there's like a mystery element to it, and like the levels of strategy are just so much fun. And at first it's really intimidating, but the game's really forgiving. Like if you fail, it's like
and it's the roguelite in which you absolutely get stuck and you start giving up your levels so you can take more stuff with you into them. But by that point, you're starting different rules. Like I played a lot of this game. I played 10 or 12 hours, and I get obsessed with one, rule, and it's just like any of these games are. I'll never play other ones. But this gives you a kick on that. It's like it'll get you some kind of like challenge, like eat this boss as this one. And then you want to try another. And usually it's pretty fun, really different. Like just like rolling around this so on that, you don't even do any of the send out returns and stuff.
That's not big at all. It's weird. It just smells very strange. Places and also live by. But if it were again, a slightly fantasy but corporate structures.
It's definitely just one thing. Everything. It's got everything. Like if you play this game, you won't be playing stuff like this. You won't be this small.
Yeah.
So you recommend it? Yeah. But like I gotta stop playing it because I need to play other things. It's like one of those things. Like this is my only game for.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's just so many games out right now. This is the one that I play. Like when I'm getting kind of close to that, and I know it's like because I say something's just one part. It's fine, and I say up to 2 a.m. It's like, oh,
I think it's a very gaming game. It's just like I skip it's crazy, but then like sometimes it's just so funny to watch. Like again, that music's and then the music's actually good. Notes too, like they're listening like in this kind of like lo-fi, which is sweet.
It's pretty.
You hear it so much that you get sick of it, but then it's stuck in your head. I can play this variation. It's a fun thing. Alright, I will check out Titanium for tonight. I'm ready for playing a lot of Blood Rooms.
Yeah, there's so many games to play right now. Blood Rooms is another one I'm into. So, in vein of like Intruded and other survival fun games, comes Windrose, which you play as pirates, and Blackbeard's ruling the seas and has destroyed the ship. And now you need to kind of launch your crew and go fight Blackbeard as you can begins. That was kind of the stories that got picked up. So there were some issues, but it's so fun. Like, it's just really satisfying. Because you are playing on your own servers, they can kind of take it down and like make it as easy as you want. But it is just really intuitive how one of the systems work. One thing I was so happy was I think I talked about it last resolution was one of the things that I hate most is survival games. Now, Minecrafting, you can't use resources as much. If you're within range of the base, it just pulls from all your pockets and all the just right. You don't have to craft like a special one, you don't need a special component. It's not everything. It's just evolve. Like, thank you. Thank you. I will continue to play this game. And so it makes that really easy. But basically, you start with these islands. Like, it's this game is very easy, right? But it's procedurally driven, like, in the grid. And you start with a few like easy quests and like looking and shit effectively rebuilding your mind. So like there's make weapons, you have to make gear, you have to go get a their food, there's tons of most impressive things ever. They're so innovative, like you deserve to go extinct. It's great. Fighting enemies is like a really big deal. It's like if they're kind of four, like you can get taken out so fast, which is really cool. Like I like it when it's pressuring you to think about, is this encounter actually well? Should I go wait for my friends? And that's what I did because my friends were just helped me guide me through the first bits in like for a few hours. We just were able to like find a common vertical quest and like proceed together. And it's just such a fun way to play. By the time I found like a little like tiny sailboat for just myself, and we're working on building a big boat. The building bases is really intuitive and fun. I really like just the general design of characters in the game, and it's definitely what I want to play along with.
Is there a supernatural or like fantastical element to it, like some kind of monsters that you're fighting with?
Oh yeah, there's giant crab things, they're crazy looking, they're very aggressive. There's also like these zombie guys, kind of, like they're just washed up, and they play corpses. They're just that scary, but yeah, they're pretty gross, like so those sorts of things as well. Like, it's something elements, but not like perfect spells or anything, but something like the story you might understand and understand. So we'll see what happens there, but it's still very interesting. I was just saying that I want to see it. It's like if you're watching the past so we didn't get the fiction yet, but it is really important because Blackbeard's supposed to be in the water, and if you get up the tiny ship, and they just like shoot you down. So like this is like not chaos. It's really fun though. It's like sailing is really fun. So it's like a gamble anytime you play.
I think Assassin's Creed failing on that after the last game, so we didn't talk about it. Yeah, I think that was. It just reminds me of, I think that's really. I mean, yeah, it doesn't. I have not played Black Flag since it was released, so you know. 12 years ago or something. Those like 15-minute like breakdowns they did, and like there's a lot they had to make it more like a contemporary Assassin's Creed games. Like I want you, and then it has just angry, makes things awesome. And then yeah, and just like the ship combat, they added like new skill trees and stuff. It just comes with new stuff. It looks like you know, in that game, I always wanted to just get back like build and like other fun stuff, so I could do like leveling, whatever. I just really like to see combat in it. So I think this looks like a lot better than gameplay. You can tell the developers have stated multiple times that it's not an RPG. Guys, because that's what the last half been, right? Origins Odyssey, Development, Shadows. I don't know. I think that the RPGness was more that anybody had before. I don't know. I mean, I also don't see how it's effectively different to try and game. I understand. Well, again, it's been a long time since I played this one. Maybe numbers don't fly out. Maybe you attack numbers. Yeah, but that news will do. There's numbers don't fly out. So that's an RPG. Windows, is it multiplayer? It's like multiplayer version. It's kind of similar.
It is you can't play by yourself, so you have friends who want to go. You can also just jump in if you're running outside, so if you're hosting locally, or you can just hop.
like fantastical element to it, like some kind of monsters that you're fighting?
Tell you, we do not have a guide. I'm like 99.9% sure a princess debut, which is one of the games that I'm playing right now, so
I know it.
like I don't think we would cover that. Which is a DS control A rhythm game, basically, which is a very specific, yeah.
So we have a guide.
Just me.
We have a guide for the first Half-Life or Diablo.
Yes, it is. We would have those. The issue with those is that they were written and then ported to like 3 or 4 CMS right now, so it's
Yeah,
whatever the wiki version is really easy.
and for many, it's weird. Yeah, that's kind of where I sit. And I'm going back to Paul and a lot, I just got to talk about the game.
I like that game. That's still my backlog.
It's so fun. It's so fun to do that. It's very meditative. That's kind of what I like about it. Like, you can just kind of, you know, zone out from it. They just have an update too, so keep it even more exciting.
Yeah, so
How would you feel?
I mean, if this is what you're playing, first of all, I just played a lot of Piranha, and I played a lot of Resident Evil 1 and a lot of Zelda because we did those for our new series. This is on feature. This map right here. Those, and usually when there's an eShop game out, a set of eShop games, right, I will go through and play those. I don't do as much of the, I don't have any devices that are like emulator devices right now, so unless I bought a bunch of like cartridges, then I'm not going to go through and like play that stuff. But yeah, it's not a huge slip right now. I just have to use so much game. Now, the change come to why this is weird for me is that like I play arcade demo machines all the time, and that's what I'm doing. I'm usually working with those. I guess playing them, but like playing them to make sure they're working. And that's like an ongoing thing. So like in that sense, I'm not like gaming, but like doing a side hustle. And I'm constantly getting certain things to work. So that's fun. But yeah, like I usually have like one big game, one big recent game that I'm playing. Just to basically for the show. So we talk about Resident Evil and Pragmata and stuff on the show, and then it'll be 007, and then it'll be Forza Horizon 6. So that's probably like 90% of my time, and then 10%, just like checking out, just picking up my my Mute. I need to for something to play some. That's nice. It's nice having those on hand on like the Switch Online. You want to check out Mario vs. Donkey Kong, or check out a bunch of Mega Man games. So yeah, I'll do that. But probably 90% of my time is whatever the latest big game that's out now. As Sam said, we have this new show. It's no fun today, and it's a really good excuse to play all games working too. And those are the best games I've played all year. Like seriously, that Resident Evil 1 was so fun. So and like when we were playing, I couldn't put that down. Like it's so huge time. I was like, this is great. It's so fun. I was thinking about it, like brings reaching out. So that happens. I actually did just play through all the I went to return so like. Yeah, so I do this stuff, I guess, so I would say it's pretty healthy split. I probably play 30% of my network games. Yeah. Alright, this is Mark from London. Says, I was curious with the panel about how regional gaming habits have changed and become more localized and connected. I feel like habits around the world are starting to feel a lot more synced. An example for me is things like how Final Fantasy has moved away from turn-based combat to maybe appeal to a wider audience. Now games tend to come out everywhere now versus that never came to Western region. Do you feel like there are still games that are made ultimately for region, getting more local games, maximizing returns by trying to target everyone? It's true that I think almost every game gets approved by companies now. I think that's largely because of digital distribution. Like, why not? I think it costs a Japanese publisher next to nothing with their game in the eShop in the West, so why not do it right?
I think sometimes the answer to that is that does still exist in some ways. So if you look at the games that would depend for Japanese audiences, so it could be different. So games that they're still Americans later, even though it might not cost something else to put them on the eShop, some are in translation rate, so like that finished review is a different one. So I do think that is aspect of I would say if you get say Final Fantasy and the transition from being strictly turn-based, it seems to be maybe like that could also be an internal today. Like they could maybe just like developing a little bit differently with like they're used to based on like some elements of it, but mostly action oriented.
I think that's really nice to watch that. Like all Final Fantasy games have that direction.
I think it like if you look at like Roblox too and like the success of that, I think maybe just they saw something in that they really enjoyed wanting to kind of mix and grow it and just with it that way. So it's hard to say. I think it would be a developer thing. But as far as like local appeal, it's hard to say that developers really think that way because I think it is still like a market they're targeting and saying this is what these are the people who mostly pay for our games. Invest in them. It's the play service thing. So we're gonna make our things successful. And I think if you see like smaller studios that they're just making what they
No
want,
mames.
not selling for a specific target audience.
Bueno, fue mejor que el anterior.
You know, so there's a huge amount of games that are only made in the U.S. They're called Xbox games.
My gosh.
Those don't sell in Japan.
Gotta get back
You
out
know, you say that, but so whenever we would go to TGS or whenever we go at least, we met with our guys who were in Japan. There's like 1 or 2 guys on the team that like love the Xbox games. They're so excited. So we
And information in Japan.
I know. And so we went to go talk about it. They're like, oh, yeah, people play this, but she's like, but they're trying. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, think of all the gacha slump that we're getting here. It's all like, first of all, Korea is famous for MMOs, right? Yeah. Like, we get them years later. They're made for Korea. They're not made for the West, right? So that happens, and then, you know, there's the gachas that are like, you know, Genshin type things that really, like, oh, these games are made for Japan, China in mind, and then they come here. Sometimes, but the vast majority do, you know?
Yeah. So there's like niche genres. I think there's still like mahjong games that they don't, they're releasing in the West, or
It's true. Yes, which I think that's really cool too.
there's like the Denjidego like train simulation games, or you know, like I don't know. There's also examples that we've seen on Sam with the Seal of Quantity, where there's just Japanese games being released here that aren't even translated. There's not even an English localization. It's just a Japanese game.
And there was, I think it's cool. There's local sports games like cricket. You know, it's big. I'm not saying that's like a small thing in the world. That's a huge thing in the world. It's just not in the United States at all. So it's like, you know, if you're going to make a cricket game, it's going to be here in England, India, other territories that we will never even see.
Yeah, that's really. I think there was a time though, to Miranda's point, that I think Japanese developers were trying to cater to the West, maybe in the late 2008, 9, 10-ish, because, you know, with Capcom, we had, I think, Resident Evil 5 and 6 did that. Square Enix got into the Tomb Raider game. I remember being at TGS, some Japanese publisher like Tecmo, someone like that, had a Gears of War clone, just like big early company shooter, pro shooter. It was like, boy, this could happen.
Remember Bomberman got the gritty grip?
Oh yeah, that was a little bit around.
I mean, I think it's really interesting to Japanese equipment.
It's Japanese developers' credit. I think they learned, like with Capcom and the start of Resident Evil 7, that they learned that they should lean into what makes them Japanese developers, and I think they found great success doing that.
I mean, it's really cool in our lifetime seeing Biohouse and Dragon Quest become the names of, you know, that are used in the West just a little bit sometimes. Like Biohouse was used for as a we still don't have Probotech Jr. So, in terms of West watching, a term which I just coined on this episode, the NES and Super Nintendo era was really funny for this because there was a lot of anti-Japanese sentiment at the time. There's a bunch of like stuff in the news about Japanese cars versus US cars, and production shifting to Japan. There was all this kind of anti-Japanese sentiment. So this giant influx of pop culture from Japan happens, and what do? They're like, we gotta make this not look Japanese. And how do they do that? They took all of the basic drawings that like Keiji Mifune made for Mega Man, or that Shigeru Miyamoto made for Mario, and they like completely wipe them out and then make them into like stupid like I don't know what you call it, like what is it called? The spray paint art. Airbrush. Yeah. The original, the infamous Mega Man 1 box art, right?
Yeah, a million of them. I mean, they're all like that. It sounded really cool. Like Contra, Castlevania, the best boxes ever made, right? But like, that's not what the game's like. You look at the, like the cute art of like, Simon Goldman, like the trilogy. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. I mean, that's.
Oh dear. Oh. I was like, what do you mean? Like it's brushed? What is that supposed to mean?
Can you show? And one box.
See.
Oh yeah, if you could do a side-by-side Joker with the actual Japanese rock band one, I mean, the rock band one just looks like the game. So,
that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, it was like this for everything, like Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, or anything. They made these like stupid He-Man looking characters, but in Japan it'd be like super deformed looking characters. Yeah, that's true.
Minds come alive when the eclipse burns in the sky. Even the machines hear its song.
That brings us to video game 20 questions. Oh my gosh. Just this thing comes from Nick from Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Says, David always makes me happy when you rock the Soundgarden shirt, so I'm not worried today. So based on our mutual love of RC in the game, why not choose my suggestion for 20 questions? No need to thumb through any of the other submissions, so I've got your scoop right here. 3 to be exact. So you can make the scoop or choose. Well, I've chosen the second. He gave me 3 choices. I've chosen the second one because the first one is something called Echo Knight on PlayStation 1, which I've never even heard of. And the third option was Jersey Devil on PS1, which I know is a mascot platform, but that's from my knowledge of that game. And I just know there's an Xbox on the side of the Jersey Devil, which is like a big foot.
Yeah, I will win that contest.
I've selected option number 2. So with that, what could this possibly have to do with Chris Cornell? I don't understand. Well, I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about it. Alright. Let the questioning begin.
Is it PlayStation exclusive?
No.
I was like, the other one's PlayStation games.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is this from before the year 2000? No. Is this a 3D graphics game? Yes. Randomized play?
Is it a PlayStation exclusive game?
I don't believe so. I just double check and no. Did this Yeah, did this come out before 2012? Yes, that's 5.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm trying to switch to that because I think that's when PS4 started.
That's a good way to get it.
But it's good to know.
Did this game win any major awards?
Let's see. I don't think so. What's the section called on Wikipedia? Reception? Reception.
So, no game of years. Smaller game. Played not necessarily, but just not.
To this release on that disc medium? Yes. So not a cartridge, not Game Boy. DS, with your DS.
That's a good question.
Or PC now. This is the PS2. Yes. This is large for me.
PS2 just for awards. That's literally it. Is this game for a licensed company? Like,
yes. Yes.
Okay.
Is it based on me? Yes. That's 10.
Shit. Okay. That's good. Based on a movie, PlayStation 2, not exclusive to no movie ones.
Is it based on a movie from around the time that the game came out? No. Which was so that's weird. Maybe it's The Warriors by Rockstar, which is the best movies ever. there wasn't a lot of games on equipment based on that stuff at the time. It's probably partners. But I thought that was PS2 games, but I couldn't come up with spots.
That's a question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything that was around this game specifically.
Is this based on a movie from the 1970s? No.
Oh, okay. Is the movie it's based on a fantasy movie?
No.
No. Okay.
Sci-fi? Nope.
No. You're 17. Dang. 14.
Brandon's gonna keep track.
Yeah, I was just trying.
Yeah. Well, but there's like they made Godfather and Scarface games, so those are the games, right?
Yeah, I thought this. But this it's not an exclusive to PS2. It just was on PS2.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Base.
Yeah. Is this a crime movie? Yes. That's 15.
Oh, you might be on something then, because
It's Godfather, Scarface.
I can't think of any other licensed games.
But Godfather's a 70s movie, but Scarface is an 80s movie. So there's that. I don't know much about the game, but I've seen the movie. Is it Alan
I
Sheehan?
don't even know those had games. So, give us a minute.
Is this based on a plot about a drug lord? No.
No.
Wow.
So no drug lords, no fantasy, no something.
Let me assure you, 3 questions and a guess. You are absolutely in reach. You're in reach. Yeah. Yeah, I guess maybe this was maybe the game isn't about the same thing as the movie or something like that. Like it's not originally.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. What do we know about this? Well, I guess the setting, because the setting would be the 80s. I don't know that.
But we don't go into the 80s. Did the movie take place in the 80s?
No.
No.
I'm so confused.
Okay, so it wasn't from, we did not come out around the same time as the game. So
Yeah.
it was another movie.
How many questions do we have? 2. And a guess. Have we mentioned the movie or the game? No. Okay, so we just gotta think of some kind of crime movie that is in this, space.
But it's supposed to be like crime. The problem is we don't just
We
like
asked the best crime movie. Right? Didn't we ask that?
I thought you said if it was a crime-based game,
Well,
and he said no.
I mean, this is stupid, but like it's called the spy. There's always Bond.
There is always Bond. I was thinking, because I'm trying to think of some other like kind of big movies, but it's hard to say whether or not too old. But
Yeah, the Spy Hunter. It's not a movie. Yeah, man, this is weird. I mean, clearly there was like some kind of like famous movie that game. Yeah, it wasn't great.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know where to go. 1 question and a guess. Okay.
there's something to like list. It's like that's the time of my life for time is strange.
Did this movie have a sequel? No.
A singular movie that had a game tie-in.
Yeah. I mean, this is enough to get it. I just don't know. Games from the PS2 era. Yeah. Based on a movie not from that era. A movie that did not get a sequel. That's not from the 70s or 80s.
Not award-winning game.
Not an award-winning game. Crime theme.
Does have
Is there any, like, 90s movies
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about to let you down.
And it's like Matrix, you know, crap movies with Reservoir Dogs. Did it exist?
It did. That was in the 90s. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Was there a Reservoir Dogs game?
I don't think there was a game. That could have been.
Yeah. Just have to give up. We're just gonna have to get this one.
I think, yeah. Okay. Unfortunately, not all of these those specifically. I don't know.
That's it. I think we have to give up. Sam, this Reservoir Dogs. Sam. Okay. The stats keep will make up a new stat. The last thing they guessed was their end game, but they didn't guess it. How much? Well, this is when IGN and IGN UK both gave their own review scores. IGN we gave it a 3 out of 10, and IGN UK gave it a 7.5. Okay. Neither was game of the year. But it sucks. So you're playing through the plot of the movie, but they don't have the likenesses of everyone, and they certainly didn't have the voice talent, I don't think. So what a weird project. What a strange project to exist.
What?
They actually play. I think you drive. There's driving and shooting. It's a third-person shooter and driving games, which is a little bit of Grand Theft Auto DNA is trying to get to test. But it is right at the same time that the Godfather and Scarface games came out too. So let's make games based on all these classic crime films. And this came out for Xbox, PS2, and PC. Wow. Definitely didn't have a waggle version on the Wii. It's cheap, but all the Godfather and Scarface did. We made it. It was published by IDOS, made by Volatile Games, which is no logo. And they did a lot of licensed stuff based on Nickelodeon progress too, so yeah, this engine doesn't look terrible. Not for the time. Yeah, not for the time. But when is Reservoir Dogs set? It's just 90s. It probably came out in 91, 92, so it would just be set then. Okay. Yeah. Well, we got there.
You got there, Sid. Good job. Thank you for doing movies.
I know.
Get closer, man.
The skirts.
We know.
Yeah, it was work. Well, I thought you had a better chance of getting that than Echo Knight or Jersey Devil. Definitely.
Yeah.
What's this? I don't get the story still. Like, there's no story. He's trying to get me to pick his. He's appealing to the fact that I like Soundgarden to get me to pick Attic. That's all. Got it. Thank you for the suggestion, Nick from Mount Juliet in Tennessee. Viewers, listeners, if you have your own suggestions for video game 20 questions, email them to me at the email address gamescoop@ign.com. And hopefully everyone knows that IGN Live is coming up soon. IGN Live 2026, happening June 6th and 7th, downtown LA. Come hang out with us. We're going to have a lot going on that weekend, like celebrity panels, game reveals, live stage shows, giveaways. We'll be doing the 20th anniversary edition of Gamescoop there. It's going to be a really good time. You can get tickets right now at Showclicks or live.ign.com. They're $15 a day. So please be excited for that. That's our show. All the skips we have here this week. Thank you, Sam, Miranda. Thank you to Joker for behind the scenes. Make this episode possible. My name is David. This is IGN Gamescoop, and we're out. The artist now for the rock band. It's real today. The technology exists to make a rock band game that just looks like that. Yeah, that's what it should look like. But Astrobot. It's Astrobot, but it looks like that.
It's really cool, actually.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, we do so much prep for Gamescoop. We have the writer's room, and then we have rehearsal. We have dress rehearsal. We got all the way to dress rehearsal without having anybody on the show. Thanks for swinging. Yeah, next time you have to shut up. And only then, when we're getting mic'd up, that we realize that no one else is coming. So,
I think Johnny.
yeah, it was great. Right. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sam. I'm going to pick up my mom from the airport now, and then this weekend I'm going to Disney. Thanks. Thanks, Sam.
¡Qué mierda! Uf, qué locura.
chat de Luigi.
¿Qué onda, Lencio?
Únete al Discord de Luigi Mexa. https://dis.rd.gg/IQDSSZRA3U.
No. ¡Uf! Uy, pensé que no lo iba a hacer.
Any status update on Jerome?
Wow.
Do this to me, Jerome.
Wow, pensé que no lo iba a hacer. Qué pendejada, ¿para qué me da vida si... ¿O va a sacar algo más? Ok, llevamos ya 2 jefes, creo que son como 8. Ok, creo que no es buena idea aquí ponerme en riesgo. Muy fácil.
Chingón.
¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué hay más? ¿Por qué chingados me dan más vida? ¿Van a ¿Voy a volver a pelear?
Lydia.
Este juego es como mi amigo Arles. Caos y destrucción.
Who's there?
Someone not so lost as you.
You don't know anything about me. Lena. We thought you were dead.
No. Just done with being a Soltari pawn. But that doesn't mean I won't help a fellow enforcer. Wish I could have helped Jackson.
Where is he?
Just found pieces of him. He should have been more careful.
No. I should have been there for him.
You want to do right by Jerome? Focus on the living.
Come back with me. We need you.
No way. I'm done with Soltari. You let them keep thinking I'm dead, unless you want your secrets out too.
What do you mean?
You left them before I did. Went out searching for your lady. Stay quiet about me, and I won't tell them about Nydia.
Is that how it's gonna be?
Soltari would call that a conflict of interest. They tighten your leash real quick.
I'd like to see that.
Falto seducción.
You and me both. We got our own business here.
Sígueme a Luigi Mexa en TikTok, X y
Pues creo que el juego trata de que quiere recuperar a su mujer o algo así, entonces ahí le está intentando seducir, sexuducir.
I'm sorry I wasn't there, Jay. All these years, everything we saw together, I never thought it'd be you first. Goodbye, Jay.
Objetivo actualizado.
Wouldn't be saying this if I thought we'd see each other again. You're off, mate. Disappearing into your own head again. Sort it out, copper. Figure out what you're fighting for before this place eats you alive. He's seeing you, yeah?
He didn't deserve to die alone.
Soltari signal detected.
Focus on the living. Echelon 3. Any life signs?
Negative.
This is a full colony build-out. They have to be around here. Find me a way across.
Cannot link with survey drone.
That's the source of the signal. What happened to that primary unit?
Damaged beyond repair.
An echelon data core.
A primary data core. Critical Soltari property.
It can give us answers. Kayla will know how to access it. You were here, weren't you?
¿Tengo que volver o qué? Creo que sí, creo que no hay nada más que hacer.
Tell me what's on here.
Where did you find
Kayla,
this?
please. What have you got?
Just wait. These things take time. Okay, it's from Echelon 2. Some inventories, diagnostics, nothing really spicy there. But it hasn't logged any activity. Wait. Centuries.
Ridiculous. This is a newly established colony.
Can't make the Eclipse follow protocol, Sheridan. Time is broken here, okay? protocol does.
This is what it does. It gets in our heads, and it twists, and it turns. They're here. They need us. I can't let her... I can't let them down. I need to find them.
Priority. Investigate the colony site.
PlayStation. Welcome back, everyone, to another Saros episode about TPS, and you better believe I want to get this video
Cool
done
down,
very
Devrash.
quickly so I can go
We need to...
in. I will be home by
The
playthrough and plan one.
It's possible, but...
Primary won't want us to wait.
I'm in. If I can't count on you, Arjun, then...
With that small announcement out of the way, let's begin as always with our PS Plus reminder. So, this is your last
don't want this to be
April PS
You
Plus
said it yourself.
lineup.
We lost so many
Tuesday,
people.
They have to be alive.
change over
You're
to
lying to yourself.
EA Sports FC 26 PS4 PS5, Luchenko Brothers PS5,
They're out there.
Souls PS4 PS5
I
as
feel
well.
it.
Now this is
The
not
data is clear,
the best
Arjun.
one. I really
I'll
dislike
give
this
up if you
games
want.
are unessential, certainly for something like FIFA where FC rather so big, so I feel like people that won the game almost certainly have it by now. But Luchenko and Brothers is a Souls like that came out less than a year ago. There's kind of mixed reviews, so that might be something to check out. Souls is very good, but it's never made this very particular genre taste for certain people. So it's, I don't know, maybe somewhere in the middle, not the first one. Anyway, moving on to our first news story, we have more PlayStation 5 price increases, this time in Southeast Asia, which are probably just getting more aligned with what we have recently in North America, Europe, and Japan. And so in various countries, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, prices are going up for that PS5 disc model, which are additional Pro and Portal. I believe for the Philippines and Vietnam, it's only for the basic model, so I'm not sure if it's for the other hardware as well. But that should be effective today, May 1st. And it's still the same thing we keep hearing. Things are expensive, so they're pretty dramatic price increases. But at the very minimum, the running theory that we do have is that Sony went very steep to give themselves some flexibility for the expected promotions of Days of Play, which that sale should be coming up over the summer, and then Black Friday. I sincerely hope we could get to a place where the prices could come down on a consistent basis. But that's just not really the environment we're in nowadays. We're still waiting for some North American sales for the first full month with these new prices in effect, and we'll see how steep that decline is. Okay, let's move on to what will probably be our final update for the ongoing issue with PS4 and PS5, the 30-day DRM fiasco, which really blew up over the weekend and got bigger and bigger throughout the weekday. We had 2 update videos going over it. The most recent one gave us the most plausible theory of what happened, and now Sony has provided a statement, shockingly, which does, for the most part, probably confirm our suspicions. So, with that said, a very brief recap is that we had this post go viral on Twitter from Lance McDonald showing off this Modern Warfare video that he did explaining the change Sony made with licenses on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So some testing was done by Andrew on Recent Era that gave us a plausible theory of what's going on. And this is easily shown off by this picture made recently by Square Alex on Recent Era. So just to explain it, before March 2026, you bought a game, you got a permanent offline license right away for primary activated consoles. After March 2026, it's now a 30-day license initially. If you have the game past Sony's 14-day return policy window, you have that time and the remaining 16 days to do an online check-in. After you do that, after the 14 days, you will receive a permanent offline license. So in conclusion, you don't lose lose the game, you don't have to rebuy it. There's no periodic 30-day check-in. But the C-bomb issue is an unintentional consequence because what people were doing was taking the CMOS out to test if they still have access to the game. Because remember, the license you get initially is an offline license. It's just that people want to know what happens after the 30 days with no online check-in. The only way to speed that up is taking out the CMOS fabric, but because people were buying games right away, testing, they found out the game does not work. So that was the issue. Some people that have purchases from March, for example, that will go past the 30 days. You can see some validation. Those games will launch with the CMOS removed. Moreover, we have a more technical deep dive being done on Twitter where somebody did confirm that behind the scenes, we do see that newer purchased games are issuing a license that has an end timestamp of exactly 30 days. And this is something Sony is using based on an existing backend feature. So it's a change, but it's still using existing methods that Sony already has. And we also have an official statement from SIE where this was sent to GameSpot, and they say, quote, players can continue to access and play their purchased games as usual. A one-time online check-in is required to confirm the game's license. After which, no.
Ok, yo creo que esta va a ser la última.
Now, I'm not going to say anything else beyond that. I am somewhat surprised they actually did give a statement because, like the initial CMOM issue in 2021, it's very bad.
Scan for any data on Echelon 3.
So they're not going to straight up outline exactly like, oh, this is why we're doing this. After 14 days, it's going to be very helpful. Yes, that's the most.
How's it work?
Yeah, that's the best case.
Scanning for our people.
Nowadays,
there's got to be someone here.
Behind us, you know, it's great news.
With so much data lost, I had to start my Eclipse research from scratch. Even with the scanning bot Carly loaned me, it's slow going. The only point worth logging so far is that the Saros is decreasing. It's as we suspected, the Eclipse is happening more frequently. Red's worried about how many people keep staring at it. I'm sure the novelty will wear off soon.
Just get that permanent license to navigate Sony's own return policy, which is still, I think, very, I don't know if predatory is the right word, but it's not very consumer friendly. So it's been not even remotely as good as Steam, for example, which Steam takes it a step too far.
Termina bien la noche.
Descánsale, Félix. Sí, yo también. Esta va a ser mi última y ya me estoy dando. Ya me estoy durmiendo.
Is there any sign of Echelon 1?
Saros, still very excited for the game. And if you remember last week I said that we had to talk about the scores from Margo, so it does seem like the scores landed right where I thought they would. It was high 80s right now, it's 88 on 9. As high as possible. It's fantastic for this great difference. Share some points from the record bottom, Stevie Bush Bear, out there, lost of the approach to make. We just have before any of them message here. Where are you? If you haven't played a house bar game, I think Saros is a great starting point. It takes a look at our history. I think it's more approachable. It takes all the things we've really been building on. And I think from there, once you've jumped in and you experience Saros, you'll be able to go back through 30 years of our history and have such a great experience. There's so many wonderful games. I love Resident. I think it's such a special game. And to think someone picked up Saros, master it, go back to this history, I'd say that's the thing. If you haven't played a house bar game, I'd say Saros is a fantastic
still won't tell us what's on the data core.
I sincerely hope they do very good.
If we find them,
they do very good with this game.
How much hell can we
That's the thing. Returnal, they got 600,000 unit sales initially, which is very fitting given what the game was. Now there can be a lot of friction for certain players. Now there's a much more guys. It's now it's just this game, it really does feel like they've taken every sort of initial feedback that they got from that game, applied it here, and making it so much easier to do some stuff. Maybe have the best skill set, you have it. Still so, other than that, the team can really do the game, it's another place
status of Marvel's Venom, which is a game we learned about behind the scenes from Insomniac Breach. And at the time, with that breach, there were many things that Insomniac were working on, but the problem with seeing that that's how it's supposed to is that plans change. So there's many projects that we know are not in Insomniac. This game, at least months ago, we did have one more first. The game is still coming, but years past, as the actor John Jeter plays games, it's not a podcast, no, different things. So we're going to do a game is not going to see what it's or because it's now, obviously, the game is very good first-hand knowledge, face first, that's all up here, all the projects, that's but right after that, like an hour after that podcast went out there, we had Oprah Racera, Jason Schreier, sent the post for 3 words. This isn't true. So with that, the recent report from Monday first, and then other various accounts from developers trying to report that that's not true. And yes, the game is still, it's just one of those very weird conflicting things of that's a great source, but I don't know where the wires got crossed there. I mean, we did also have a February recently straight up TVs that he's doing some mocap for what we assume is Spider-Man. I'll see if we can probably better as well. Not as bad as I think I would safely assume we'll be seeing mostly cross-chat titles. I would be shocked for the right word here, but I would be very surprised if we haven't had truly exclusive PlayStation 6 games. Although Sony is still that deeply committed to the traditional console model and having some game development on that machine, which they did do for PlayStation 5, right? It's just how much that will they do for PlayStation 6 that we're expecting diminished returns to heavily devalue like it brings the question of how worth it is for consumers to be early adopters of information. And also the hardware itself will be expensive. So next up, we have some not so good news yet again for Fair Games and Haven Studios. Where, if you remember, we have uncorrected on a gaming development not coming to playtest this weekend, and that weekend playtest was going to feature a new mode called Cardinal Heist, and it's going to be extraction based. Well, that has come and gone, so we have a report from Tom Henderson ready for Inside Gaming. They're based on gameplay set into the publication, which will be publishing. But they did see the game, and they're saying that right now the game visually toned down some of the visuals there in the cinematic trailer. So at least color palette wise, there was a lot more like vision involved to be and the question about players and games. So that's probably part of the nice mode and trying to do things like that. But based on feedback, it's still very poor. So players in the playtest on the 5 are criticizing the game's feel, the NPCs, class system. It seems like it's still not very good, and Haven is still trying to find fun in this game, which is a very important element of making a game going into production. I'm not sure how far along they are making this game, but it seems like they have playtest at this point. Every time we hear about it, it's that the game just simply isn't fun. Feedback is good, and we'll take the game into production, launching it, and play. Play itself, it doesn't matter. You have to make sure the game is fun. That's why
someone's alive. Show me.
Years first player list buys again, it's still not finding out. And it's just really alarming as to how far along this game, how much time they've spent to get to be better, right? So I think it's the same thing that it's like if it gets canceled and the studio shuts down tomorrow.
From Echelon 3.
I
never no more care. All that matters is reaching the city. It sings a song I must answer. I'm with an emergency team searching for survivors. Could be more in the city. I haven't found the path in years of searching. But I won't give up. calls me. The city calls you too. I can sense it. Let me share this wonder with you. A gift from Yellow.
How deeply involved as Mark Cerista is with the studio and the tools that the studio made for developing games in the cloud. I mean, that was years ago now at this point, so I don't think that's hard to for why the team is still around, but it's just, it's still not looking good. And it's, I guess we'll have to wait and see if they'll do another playable or if they just straight up try and launch the game. It's hard to say, but as of right now, we do know they still want to try and do free to play. They're trying out more of a focus. In other PS Studios live service news, there is also that Roblox game, which is a partner with PS Studios is publishing, so it's a first-party game. And this game is also having a closed beta going on right now for the first time on PlayStation 5 hardware, so PC, PS5.
The remaining Echelon 3 civilians are set up down on the bridge.
So you could, in theory, try
I only pray they find Echelon 1 and 2.
So this is another PS Studios live service game. We'll have some more feedback probably coming in. It seems like a lot more people got access to this beta this time around. So one person.
I think it's the eclipse.
It seems like
it feels
there's going to be a lot more people starting this game out. This one, I feel much more. Like, and I know I did on this non-live service that was there. I just played this game. The concept sounds fascinating to me. If I have time to play some Saros games, I might jump in and check it out. But I do think the concept of players like there's an element that works there, but you know, I'm sure we'll see something like that once the play test is done. And then too, like it could be not it's good because that was the initial words from the last season. Yeah, but it sounds different. It's really different in this environment to find a consistent player base. So it's a shame though that everyone's sort of looking at this title and immediately writing it off as this thing is dead on arrival. But I'm inclined to agree. It's just at least the concept and sales pitch does sound a little bit more enticing than a lot of the other things that have come and gone lately. Moving on to a former Naughty Dog game director, Peter Ball. He was the one that was developing Last of Us Online for years, 7-something years. Of course, the game was canceled, and he still is completely devastated by it. He put out this tweet recently where he says, quote, "It's wild how many of my ex-colleagues still message me today saying how amazing The Last of Us Online was going to be, still the best multiplayer game they've ever played. Never going to let what I work on not see the light of day again. Thank you all for your support and confidence." You know, it really is something that one of the few people that can say, as a game director, they spend 5+ years on something, and it's completely gone, and nothing was really seen outside of the screenshot, some concept art, and public commitments to put the game out. And of course, it's got to really suck, especially for him, who's had recent review really aired out. It's emotionally devastating. That's why he's got to do something.
I know you'll still be there.
Which is good for him.
You never give up.
Consistently here, and for those that didn't get the game early, it was like a hit. Like it turned out, it was good, compelling, you know, it's been something but it's just, yeah, based on Naughty Dog's own output, the level of talent and resources needed to be a live service game like that, it would be the studio completely, and they would have had to
in the city on you, waiting for me.
That's not the advances. Just a hand thing, different support team. Logistically speaking, you can see why that probably very difficult thing. Dog and SIE in that role and do in a physically responsible, safe way. But still good for the and I do look forward to when they do that. Moving on to some third-party news stories, we have a somewhat big up for the Pokemon for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, where the game director Naoki Hamaguchi was speaking with Comic going over primarily the learning process for Rebirth to other platforms like Switch 2, but he did touch on leaving Part 3 that the game is on time, on schedule, and he said, quote, we know that
Even after everything we saw here,
preparations towards the
paged
announcement
only
are
the
steadily
Sultari
underway.
way.
Please look forward to
All
it
the
just a
wonder,
little longer.
all the
I do
enlightenment,
think they're
all
seeing
the
this game
feeling of the
later
air
this year.
sure.
It's more a matter of, is it Summer Game Fest, like
A
near the
machine
launch of the
thought it could
Xbox
rule
digital
us.
versions for Rebirth, which I might like
No more.
actually think more
The
because
sword
the game
wants
is so
us
long.
here.
I'm fine with it. I'm down with it. Do you really want to like do a tease for the next game, which is going to be hard to do without players finishing Rebirth? You just expose it to the platform. I'm to say there was no time to play the game, and then you do a tease hard to make so towards the end of the year for a game that is very likely to be late 2027. Safely expected as a sort of early time frame, and then probably more likely in 2028. The thing is, they this game that runtime was they were able to do some remake after that they were that game in, but and that was with the extra year that they spent working on the great DLC. So with the time frame, the assets that they've built, there's no things that we're watching for because that's the whole point is being safe and responsible for a game that's comes out at a time that doesn't make sense. There's no opposite to very long. I believe that you end up releasing, but I think it will be surprising for us to see the game, maybe how much they're going to show the game, and the release timeline that they give us is more generous than some are expecting. So I would think that maybe the initial tease or reveal will be later this year. That's what makes the most sense to me. And now that I've finally finished Rebirth, I am indeed ready to see it. Next up, we have some new comments from the new Xbox CEO, Ashish Sharma, about console exclusivity, what they're planning on doing, how they're approaching it. So this recently came from Steven Tatilla's Devfail, where he was speaking with Sharma, and she gave some words here about exclusivity, where she says, quote, we'll take a data-driven approach and a strategic approach, and then our principles make some comments. So share when Steven Bush she said that they want to make a fast decision, just the right decision. And so there's still non-answers. I'm still in the same conclusion I was before, where it's like, and I've seen people make this case of like, oh, you can't do it. You can't just put the genie back in the bottle. You can put the toothpaste back in the bottle. You just do it. Which is fair. Obviously, the simple answer is just do exclusives again. The on-paper financials of it are what heavily imply they can't really do it. That's the main point I keep coming to, that if you're releasing a low-volume console that might buy small other storefronts, which upends the traditional console model, you know, it just, how do you do exclusivity without putting massive financial pressure on those studios to deliver good numbers? It doesn't make any sense. You know, unless the only sense it would make is that they're really closely, which I have always thought do. Like when they were going studio crazy, just making up things left and right, you know, once they started getting to the push of this huge traditionally third party, that really felt people along the way. Because you can't make their own content, you can't foster their own talent, they can't do organic growth. This is something Microsoft and Xbox historically have been very bad. And so that element I never liked